Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is All Things Cinco EDC. I'm Cinco. Thank you for joining me once again. Today we got a good one. Today we're going over this beautiful thing you see here. This is the Smith & Wesson MP15 pistol. And if you stick around to the end, we'll go over all the things we got coming up in future videos. So stay tuned. Let's head on over to the tabletop and see all she has to offer. So here she is, the Smith & Wesson MP15 pistol. She is chambered in 5.56. Let's go ahead as always and start from front to back, go over the standard features, and then we'll go over all these extra things you see here. So she does have a Hodge rail free float handguard, as you guys can tell. Free float just means it's not hanging onto the barrel. Aside from here, it's got no other attachment points up here. Real quick, guys, just wanted to do a quick update. I just got back from the range, and this thing was such a fan favorite, so I just want to roll in some extra bonus footage of all the people that fell in love with this thing and just wanted to shoot it. And people that I saw were so interested in it, I just let them shoot it because I enjoy seeing other people enjoy firearms. So enjoy this footage, enjoy the reactions. I'll put some commentary and I'll put some happy little smiley faces in there of the people that I enjoyed watching in the background. This was a young man a couple lanes down from me doing a gun class, sharpening up his gun skills. He wanted to come over and see what I was shooting. So I said, here, take a crack at it, see how you like it. It is a 7.5-inch barrel, as you can see through the M-lock slots there. It has various M-lock slots. Obviously, these right here are not M-lock. You do have it at the 3, 6, 9, 12 position. As you can see, various attachments on there, all the way around. The 7.5-inch barrel is there on the inside. It does come with this blast forwarding device on here. They call it a blast diverter. As you can see on the front there, I'll roll in some photos. These holes here are meant to direct the blast forward. This thing here shoots out some fireballs and shoots out some crazy concussions when you're at the gun range. I'll roll in some footage of that. So without this thing would be a nightmare to shoot, but with it, it definitely makes it a little easier. To take my word for it, I'm gonna roll in some footage of one of my coworkers who I asked to stand next to me when I shoot this for the first time and how it caught him off guard. Those of you who don't know, if you have a pistol or a rifle that's chambered in 5.56, you can also interchangeably shoot 223. But if you do have a pistol or a rifle that's chambered in 223, I would not recommend shooting 5.56, nor would anybody else, because 5.56, though being identical in physical shape, has much higher pressures, and it could damage your weapon, could blow out right there in the breech when it goes off. Keep in mind, it's a mini explosion going off here every time you fire a round. So going back to the barrel is an Armornite finish on the inside and on the outside. It is made out of 4140 steel. It does come with a threaded barrel under this blast diverter, so if you ever wanted to remove this and put any other kind of muzzle device, you have the option to do that as well, which is cool. The barrel rifling on the inside is a 1 in 7 twist. For those of you who don't know, that just means for every 7 inches, the barrel does a full rotation, or the round rather, which varies from the M&P 15 Sport Rifle, which is actually a 1 in 9 twist. You do have a full-length Picatinny rail that goes across the top here with T-markers. T-markers are just for indexing points, so you know where you put your optics. Whenever you take them off, put them back on. has a connection here. This locks up pretty tight. I've never had any problems with this connection here. You see you got the 3 bolts there. The thing's never come loose on me, so that's pretty good there. The upper and the lower receiver are both made out of 70-75 aluminum. To continue across the top here, it did come with a standard mil-spec charging handle. Obviously I switched that, as I think anybody should, though the standard mil-spec works great. You have here your forward assist. You have here your brass deflector. As you can tell, it's deflected quite a few brass. You have a standard dust cover that comes here. I switched this one out. You can see there, it's 5.56 NATO. You have your standard safety selector there, safe there, fire there, no big deal. I switched out these pins, but it comes with standard black pins, just like any other AR rifle and pistol. You have your magazine release button there, which I haven't changed. Probably one of the few things I haven't changed on this thing. One of the things that Smith & Wesson did come out with new is this flat face trigger you see here. I have no idea what the pounds are on that trigger, but I like this trigger. I'll give you guys a look here. For safety, check this weapon. It is free and clear of all ammunition. See here. See here. I'll show that to you guys there. Very short throw. I like it. It's a really good trigger. I've never had any problems with it. Short reset. Nice pull. I'll get a weight tester for you guys one of these days. I don't think many of you guys really care as far as whether it's 4 pounds, 5 pounds, 6 pounds, 7 pounds. But for you spec techs, maybe I'll include that in future videos. Also, you guys may have noticed I have here a mag pull bad lever. We'll go over that in a minute. When I did get this, I'll roll in photos. It does come with a standard Smith & Wesson pistol grip, just like you guys have seen on the Smith & Wesson pistols. I switched this out for this BCM grip that you see here. So we'll go over that in a minute once we go back over the front. Give you guys my thoughts on this thing overall as a weapon before we go over in detail all the other stuff that's on here. This thing shoots great. I've never had any problem with it. I've never had any ammo that has given it any problem. It eats everything I feed into it. But I shall warn you guys, this thing is so loud when you go to the range due to the fact that it has such a short barrel. I would never use this thing for home defense. All my kids would be left deaf. This thing shoots so loud. But this thing would absolutely do whatever you needed it to do. I'm sure you could reach out a few hundred yards with this thing. I would not go further than probably 200-300 yards. I don't think your accuracy will bear out. But I love this thing. If you ever wanted to use this thing for a backpack gun, I actually used to have a folding adapter on here, and this thing absolutely fits in a backpack gun. From here to here, it measures just over 19 inches. So this thing would be a great backpack gun. It's not the lightest, but it would be a great backpack gun. I actually switched this out for the Foxtrot mic that I made in another video. My 9mm PCC, which is much lighter. I can carry more ammo without increasing so much weight. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it down below. You should go check that out. Now I'll bring you guys in a little closer and we'll go over all the features you see on this specific pistol. So starting at the front here, we have the Odin Tactical Light. This is a 2000 lumen flashlight. As you can see here, it comes with this Picatinny adapter here. So I put a little Picatinny rail mount there so that it can attach to the rifle. It has 2 separate options that you can attach to the rifle. If you push that button, it releases. You can attach it from this side, and it sits just like that on the rifle, on the pistol, sorry. But you can also put it on this side here, which I prefer because as you can see, look how tight that sits to the weapon. There's barely daylight coming through there. As I've shown in other videos, with Olight, they have this little close and open option that you have here. So you see there it opens and you can put it in, lock it. That light won't come out no matter what. You can't push the button, it won't release. But if you turn it, you push in, it releases. This light you pull down here. It can also be a tactical handheld flashlight. And 2000 lumens, this happens to be my favorite flashlight. This thing can be used in all kinds of situations. You put it back on there, put the tail cap back on, slip that back up there, As I showed in other videos, this thing is super secure. I've never had it come loose. I've had no problems. Switch it over to the lock and it's going nowhere. This light has a max throw of 300 meters on it. As I said, it's a 2000 lumen flashlight. It's a rechargeable light on the inside, 5000 milliamp rechargeable lithium battery. As I've shown you guys before, this thing is just a magnetic port back here where you recharge. All the Olights, excuse me, have the same magnetic charging port as far as I know. So this thing is super easy to charge. You can charge it on the rifle, you can take it right off the rifle. And it is waterproof. It's IPX8 rated. If you guys could take a second to smash that like button down below, it helps the channel tremendously. Also, if you guys could comment down below on the things you do like and the things you don't like, so for that future, I can give you guys more of what you want. If you want more shooting, if you want more tabletop reviews, if you want more gear, more stuff like that, let me know down below. So moving right along, just under the flashlight, you see here, we have the Strike Industries Link Curved Foregrip. Obviously, I've gotten a lot of these parts in blue. I like Strike Industries. They're like the Amazon of the firearm industry. But this thing sits in here nicely. I'll show you here. It's a perfect grip. You can use it either this way or you can turn this side to the front. Either way, it's interchangeable. It locks on there pretty secure with 2 Allen screws there. It is M-LOK compatible, as you can tell. We also have here the Strike Industries ultralight takedown pins. You got the takedown one here. You got the pivot pin here. They claim them to be ultralight, but I'm sure nobody can tell what the difference is, whether it's these or the standard ones that come with it. You also have the Strike Industries flip switch here, safety selector. They sell all these parts in blue, black, red. It's like a greenish gold that they also sell. I like them. I just like customizing things to my own liking. They do have a better surface to grab them when you're going to take down your weapon and do whatever kind of cleaning or fixing you want to do. I stuck with Strike Industries on a lot of these parts because mainly I do like the parts. They look pretty good. But another reason was to keep the same color blue going all the way across, because I've bought other parts from other places and they come different color blues. For example, this P80 build that I did, you can see all 3 blues are different blues. It looks kind of weird. I mean, it's not really a big deal, but that's why. Back this thing up a little bit to show you guys this charging handle here. This is also a Strike Industries charging handle, as you can see there, with an extended latch. I like it. I have the version with the extended latch and I also have the latchless version. They both are no big difference to me. They work great. I just like this one better because apart from the standard mil-spec version, it's got a great grip surface to it. It is a non-reciprocating charging handle, so it doesn't hit you in the face every time you're shooting, so that's great. Bring you guys back in close here so you can see. We'll stay at the top. This is the Holosun 403C GR, GR being for green dot. It's cool that they put a little green dot there. I'll flip it over so you guys can see. That is the 403C GR. It's taking its dings and dents, and this thing has been bulletproof. This is a 2 MOA dot green dot. It is parallax free. It does have unlimited eye relief, so that means it doesn't matter how far back or how forward you stand on this thing. You can see great, not like a scope that tends to black out on you depending on how far forward or how far backwards you go. It's one-time magnification, so in the optic world, that just means it gets as close as possible to being what you see in front of you with the naked eye. They always have a slight magnification to it just because of the glass, but it's as pretty close as it can get. It makes no big difference. Backing you guys out so you can see here, as Holosun is famous for, it has the solar panel on top. They call it the solar fail-safe system, so that if your battery ever went down, which it does have a battery, the solar panel will keep it running, so you can always depend on it. Speaking of the battery, here it is. Here is a battery tray on the side, which is fantastic, as I said before, so you can pull that out, pull it back in, replace your battery without worrying about re-zeroing the red dot. You have your plus and minus buttons there to change your settings. This is the Holosun HM3X Magnifier. It's built out of aluminum. This thing's built like a tank. As you see, it lines up perfectly with the Holosun red dot. This thing works fantastic. I'll roll in some photos of what this looks like without it and then how this looks with it. It has a diopter here that you can adjust to make it look clearer or worse for yourself. It also comes with its own windage and elevation knobs, which fit the same exact adjustment knobs is here, so that you can always fine tune this thing to fit this thing perfectly. It sits on this QD mount. Let me flip it over for you here. It's got a QD release latch here. Let me see if you can see it there. It's got a button back here. If you just push down on that button and flip up, it'll pop right out of there for you. You can disconnect it, put it right back on. That's what those T markers are good for, so you can know exactly where that thing lines up. Because if I go one more forward, it bumps into it. You can't do it. If you go back, it's not as clear and as good. So that thing works fantastic. It has a little detent here, which is what holds it in place. So you can easily flip it over and it sits there. It's got a little bit of force to it, but nothing nobody can handle. So if you can flip it back up, it's got a detent that holds it in place, so it always goes right back to the same place. Now, one thing a lot of people aren't aware of is this Magpul BAD lever. BAD is just an acronym for battery assist device. A lot of people are not aware of this thing, and a lot of people, to be honest, don't use it, but it is super handy. It has a little switch from this side, which activates the battery device on that side. So as you can see, this was the standard bolt release on this side. You latch it down to there and it does the function for you, but from your trigger side. So when you have this thing pulled back, I'll show you here. When you have your bolt release pulled back on the last round, you can activate the battery device from this side. Watch this. And it makes it much easier. If you pull back and push up, it'll do the opposite function and hold your bolt up. So that's awesome. I've always liked this thing. Most people aren't aware that this thing even exists. And it's super easy. I think it was like 25, 30 bucks. You latch it on there, bolt it down with some Loctite. This thing has never come loose. I've used it a ton. So watch here. It does the function for you. You go up and down, it works that for you. So moving right along to this side, I have the Strike Industries QD sling mount there, which I have no sling attached because the ATF hates you and I and all of our gun rights. And I've had to remove the pistol brace here pending legislation, but there's another QD mount that goes there, and you can attach a sling so that you can use this weapon and sling it across you for hands-free operation. Now I'll roll in some photos of what this looked like when it came. It did bring the Smith & Wesson pistol grips that are standard to the M&P 2.0, and included in the box, it also had 4 palm swells that you can switch depending on your hand size. I'll roll in photos of those as well. But I, to be honest, don't really like that grip at all. So I completely switched it out. I still have it, but I don't use it at all. And that's that. That's the Smith & Wesson MP15 Pistola, chambered in 5.56. If you have any other questions about what you see here in front of you, comment down below. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoy this gun. I love having this thing around. I love taking it to the range. It definitely is an attention grabber. If you have any more questions about it, please let me know down below in the comment section. If there's anything else you want to know, feel free to ask. I have no problem answering whatever questions I have. If I don't know the answer, I'll find it for you. I'll do the best I can for you guys. But if not, that is it. That's all things Cinco EDC. I'm Cinco. Thank you for joining me. I hope you learned something. Subscribe down below. It helps the channel tremendously. Doesn't cost you anything. If you stuck around to the end, thank you for sticking around. And as promised, I want to give you guys a sneak peek of what we got in the works. Coming up soon, I have a review coming up on this thing here. As you can see, this is the Palmetto State Armory AK-47 pistol. This thing is a beast. I love this thing. It's been a dream since I have it. So stay tuned. You guys have a good day. God bless you guys. I love you. Get armed, get trained, protect the innocent.